What's going on, guys? It's your boy Black Ice from the Expansion Pack podcast. And on this week's episode, we're going to dive into some information about the new Resident Evil movie, Welcome to Raccoon City. We finally got our first look at some pictures and some of the casting, so we'll go over that. We also got some more information about Saints Row and Dead Space. So we're going to talk about that starting right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's gaming news and we bring it straight to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 43. Episode 43. I'm your host, Denzel, aka Black Ice. I'm joined by my amazing co-host each and every week, starting off with the man, Goop, Master Flex. How you doing, boy?
You already know. Stay gooping.
Stay gooping. And then, of course, we got my other co-host here, Mr. May 25th. How you doing, bro?
Same shit, different toilet. I know y'all want to hear me say it. I might have to get that on a t-shirt one day. God damn. I really might have to. I do.
I'd buy it. I'm here for it,
Somebody on my job today said, what'd you say? Same shit, different toilet? Because that's my go-to small talk thing is, same shit, different toilet. And he's like, oh, never heard that before. I like that.
Okay.
I get that so much. No, gotta get a t-shirt, bro.
Why you
gotta get the t-shirt? No, for real, you dead ass. He's like, yeah. I never heard it like that before. That's good stuff. I'm taking it. I said, hey, man, go right ahead. You don't even got to give me no credit, bro. Go ahead.
It's all yours,
you got that from your boy. Hey, go ahead.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, hey, we're here to talk about some games like we always do. We're a week off from Gamescom. We had a lot. Pretty much all last week's episode was about Gamescom, so we didn't really get too much new news since then. But we still got a couple things that we definitely want to talk about for sure. But we'll start off with a fan favorite segment here. Mr. May 25th, bringing it back again. Let's go.
Had to bring this back up because it's coming to a close for the summer. You know what I'm saying? And the temperatures are starting to drop. So it only makes sense that we got this icebreaker around here because we're gonna need to be doing this anyway soon. Pray for an easy winter. So anyways, today's question is, what is one actor or name an actor that you would love to see do voice acting in a video game and why? If you want to go for extra credit points, you can also give me what kind of video game you would like to see them in. But you ain't got to do that. I just want to know a name and why you want to see them in a video game.
Word. Okay. Chris, do you want to go first?
All right, cool. I'm going to go first. Honestly, I think I need to see my guy Mahershala voice act something. Something. I don't want to see him do it like in like a superhero video game or something like that. But like, I don't know, if Rockstar needed somebody, I would love to see that. If they tried to make another one of those games where you have like one of those main characters with a deep story and they go through all this stuff, well, I think he would be good for something like that. He's one of those dudes that when he talks, it's like, yeah, I like what I don't even know what he be saying, but yeah, especially when he was doing Cottonmouth. Oh, bro, man. It was the only reason I liked it, because I ain't like shit else. I didn't like none of the other shit. But even the guy they picked to be Luke Cage. Nah, I didn't like him either. But Cottonmouth? Damn. Yeah, I really would love to see him do something. He could be the hero. He could be a villain. Doesn't matter. He could probably do something more eloquent. Or I'm pretty sure I have the confidence that he would be able to do something more street. Hell, if he voices his own video game, if they make a new Blade game or whatever when the movie finally drops, I'll be here for that too. I'm here for Mahershala Ali and a video game. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's vibe with that.
You gotta give him a Cottonmouth type of role in the next Grand Theft Auto. That would be dope.
Like New Jack City 2.
Or
and like it's him. All right, I gotta stop. I just blew my mind. Oh man. Oh man, New Jack City 2 with Mahersh. So what do y'all go?
All right,
What do
Manny,
y'all?
Manny, go ahead before he.
Me? And you know,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna just say random name with the game. All right, Liam Neeson, Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell.
Huh.
I think I would like that. I would dig that.
I didn't see you going there. I did not see that.
Liam Neeson, old disgruntled, grumpy ass Sam Fisher. I could definitely rock with that.
I would dig with that. You know what I'm saying? It'll be weird because like usually, he's hunting down the people, but well, actually, it'll work out. Yeah, it'll work out. I think that would be the perfect old Sam Fisher.
It's been a while since I played Splinter Cell. Has he always had like the English accent? Because I don't recall that. Or would this just be like a
No.
newer kind?
No,
Okay.
No.
I don't. I mean, I don't think Liam Neeson even has to have the English accent. He can like.
He doesn't. He knows how to do
Yeah,
it without
he,
it. But
yeah, he could just be an old grumpy
Mhm.
man. Oh damn!
Hmm.
You know what, Manny? I really fuck with that. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, Neeson to read some audiobooks. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that.
So, damn, I feel like mine is kind of not predictable, but like it's like obvious, I guess. But I would love to see Denzel Washington specifically playing a villain or a mentor in a GTA game. I feel like
Mm.
his voice is like, I don't know if you make him the villain, right? You got to go like Training Day Denzel, right?
Like Officer Tenpenny? Like you want him to be like that?
Yeah. If you go
Okay.
villain wise, right? And you make it like a whole
Yeah.
story about, I mean, I don't know if you want to make him a cop or if you just want to make him a lunatic or whatever you want to do. I mean, I guess he could be like a perfect Far Cry villain too, because they're the villains in Far Cry are freaking amazing. But I would
Yeah.
specifically want to see him GTA, and I want it to be like a Training Day style thing. And if it's not that, then I want him to be a mentor, like just like an old head, like teaching you, I don't know, whatever it is that they're manifesting to do in GTA. I don't want it to be too stereotypical where it's like, all right, it's a gangster and that storyline's played out, and I'm sure they're probably still gonna do it, but I don't know. I would love to just hear his voice in a GTA game doing all types of crazy shit as he's like talking you through it all, but I don't think he'd ever go for that.
Why not? Why not? I think you gotta have the typical gangster stuff. Not let me stop.
I could
But
see him like being a
I
barber or
guess
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's like the you go to the barber shop, you get your cut, he's giving you your next mission, whatever, he's like talking to you about this, that, and the other, talking to you about life. I don't know. I feel like he'd make a great like character in a game, just randomly.
Yeah.
I can see
talking
what
about
you
whatever.
mean.
Like imagine, bro, he's lining them up, and then people run in, and he's like, "Oh shit, hey, young blood, get in the back." What? Get in the back. And then like you gotta watch him deal with these other niggas. You come out, I'm saying, then you be like, "Yo, Denzel, what happened?" And he's like, "Listen, I owe them some money, bro. I owe money." And then you're like, "What?" And then you get the little thing on the map. You gotta go find them. No, yo, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
He's gonna be like, you
That's kind of
motherfucker.
like oh my god, what's his name? I don't remember the actor's name or the name of the character, but in Luke Cage, the like
Oh yeah.
the dude who owned the
I don't
barbershop,
like
like
him
that's
either.
basically
Okay.
that, but that would
I didn't know
basically be the
that.
role you're kind of talking about there.
It is. But I hated his acting in that shit.
Damn, you just hated everything about that, huh?
I did not like what they did with Luke Cage, man. I'm sorry. I know I may be in the minority for that one, but
Hey,
that wasn't it for me.
entitled to your
And
opinions,
then,
it's all good. It's all good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's it for the icebreaker. That's actually a fun one though. I like that. I specifically, Manny, you threw me off with that Liam Neeson one. That'd be interesting.
yeah.
You got me with
We
the
gotta
Sam
have
Fisher
it,
stuff.
yo. We need Sam Fisher back.
Can I get his voice on my Google thing? That'd be awesome too. Like, yo, Google, what's the weather? The weather today is going to be. It's going to be cold. Oh, that's talk to me like that. Yeah. You're a little too happy right now, you know?
That's funny. So I was actually making a tangent on the whole like Luke Cage thing here. Talking about Marvel, shifting over to our first topic that really is more about DC. But DC, they're doing their, I guess this would be their second annual fandom event. I think, what do they say? Oh my gosh, I already lost it. It's going to be October 16th, guys. Um, in addition to all the DC comic book stuff, they're going to be showing the new Batman movie, Black Adam, The Flash, Aquaman 2. But obviously, what we are here for, guys. We're here for the games. So they're going to be showing us finally some more stuff on Gotham Knights, which definitely kind of fell into obscurity because after it got pushed back. We know that game was supposed to come out this year. It got pushed to 2022. Because of COVID, just like everything else has been happening. And we're also supposed to see some more on that new Suicide Squad game from Rocksteady. That game in particular, I'm very, very excited for because it's Rocksteady, guys. Like Rocksteady, they just make bangers. I'm still a little sad that they're not making that Superman game, but that's all right. Apparently, we're getting that at some point from someone. So,
hey, but ain't that Suicide Squad where we got to kill Superman? So
yeah,
we'll have Superman
kill the
somehow.
Yeah,
we got to kill the whole Justice League. Apparently,
all of them.
Batman,
Even Flash's
Wonder Woman,
ass. How you gonna catch him?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not having a lot of faith, guys. We're gonna get rocked because how you gonna beat Superman? How you gonna beat Flash?
Kryptonite. And Flash, tell you right now, you ever seen one of them things? I don't know if you know this from St. Lucia, but in Jamaica, they would have these things that they would put in front of the gates so that way cows wouldn't come in. And it was kind of torturous and fucked up because the cows, I think, would get stuck in it sometimes, but they literally would come in your yard all the time, so they had to do it. They put one of them shits in the ground because Flash don't be looking like that. He just be chilling and running, putting them in the ground, clip his ass up. That's it. You know what I mean?
That wouldn't work. Flash be looking, bro. That wouldn't work.
That won't work.
Bro, Flash
He never looks like he looks at the ground.
He looks at everything smiling at
yeah, but he processes information so fast, like he's like seeing where he's going at all times. You think Flash just be running? Like, what if you ran into a wall? Like,
put a bear trap or something on the ground. You know what I mean?
I think the way to stop him up is you got to get A-Train off that
boys.
off that shot that he had in the beginning of the show when he ran over that chick.
Oh my God.
Or you get Omni-Man, you get an Omni-Man.
We get Omni-Man.
Shit, you got Omni-Man, you good, bro.
Yo, this man was punching him with little broken. Oh, sorry.
Why did you make me do this?
Oh,
man. Fighting so you can watch people.
Season 2, let's go.
Oh, can't wait. But sorry, we're going off on tangents today. But back on track. So Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad. Out of these two games, from each of you guys, which one are you the most excited for and why? Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
Definitely Gotham Knights. Just because I mean, granted, the games are made by the same people, I believe. They're both made by Rocksteady, or no?
No, this one's made by I almost said Ubisoft Montreal, but WB Games Montreal.
Okay. But Rocksteady made some of the past Gotham games.
Yeah, they made all the Arkham Knight games,
okay.
Like Arkham,
so
and so on.
That alone will give me enough credence to say I would definitely try this game and see what's going on, because those games are always really, really good, especially when the first one came out. I remember that came out, and that kind of changed how I looked at superhero games. I'm not gonna lie, because before then, I think I might have played a lot of the Spider-Man games and some of the X-Men stuff and a lot of other things, and I never felt like they took that stuff seriously until the Arkham Knight games started happening. That's when I was like, they're not playing no more. These are some good ass games. They're not fucking around. And then same thing happened with Spider-Man and a lot of the newer stuff that we're getting now, because Spider-Man is another one where I'm like, yeah, they put their foot in that. That's not like a little cheap game that they just put out because a movie is out. No, Spider-Man is a legit gaming franchise too. So with that being said, I'm excited for the Suicide Squad game. I love the voice acting I saw in the trailer, so I'm thinking that's going to be pretty good. But it's Batman and Arkham and all that stuff, man. Like that's home. That's home. Red Hood. Fam, you want me to be more excited to play with Harley Quinn than Red Hood? Fam,
I don't want to play Harley Quinn.
You were going to play Harley Quinn. I know your ass.
We know about you.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
For real. That's the first character you're playing with.
We'll see you as Batgirl and
oh my
and Gotham Knights. We know about you. It's okay.
I wish I wish Gotham Knights was 4-player co-op. It sucks that it's only 2-player co-op because you have 4 characters, and I feel like it would be a perfect 4-player co-op game to
I
the
think
boys.
that's gonna change. I feel
Yeah,
like
me
it
too.
It
has to
has.
change because it just
I-
seems too obvious. Like, why would you not have 4? You have 4 different characters. Why would you not have 4-person co-op? That may be part of why it got pushed back because it just seems like a no-brainer to me for sure.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
yeah, Manny, what about you though? Which one you leaning more towards? Sounds
yeah. I
like
gotta
Valentine.
go with.
That's good.
I gotta go with Gotham Knights though. Like I said, with the whole co-op aspect, I'm sure Suicide Squad gonna have his co-op aspect, but like Chris said, it's Gotham, and just like I feel like the whole Batman side of things, where it's like you got like, Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, and Batgirl is like they're characters I would rather play as more personally, because like I said, or like Chris said, they're just like it's that Gotham aspect of those characters that just like makes the game more dark and everything like that. I feel like just like even the way Gotham is, that dark world and everything like that. I like that more than I would say like what probably Suicide Squad will be, but I'm sure I'll enjoy both.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it sounds like we're gonna go 3 for 3 here because I'm feeling the same way as you guys. I'm way more excited to play Gotham Knights, uh, mainly because it seems like they're doing like this interesting, like not heavy-handed, but like a vague looter shooter mechanic around it. And that obviously, I know Suicide Squad is gonna have co-op, but I really feel like this Gotham Knights game is gonna end up pulling out the 4-person co-op thing because Nightwing is like one of my favorite characters ever. So
Mhm.
that's exactly who I'm playing. Red Hood is dope as fuck, so I definitely got to try him out too. And as you guys both mentioned in your own ways, like Gotham itself as a city, it's just it's just different. Like that city is just a whole character into itself, and it seems like
Yeah.
the developers are really trying to draw that out. Um, so yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. I'm
You guys
hoping.
think it's? Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm hoping it's as big as the last Batman game because that game was massive and
Mhm.
they really did Gotham justice. Like it was just you could go anywhere and fly around. You could drive in the Batmobile. Like there was so much going on. Like it really did a really great job of making that city like fun to run around in, like being a true playground. And obviously, that's like it's an older game at this point. They didn't have as much technology as they have now. Now they can build a much more massive world and have a lot more going on. Have it, a little bit more densely populated than it was before. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with a newer technology for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
What were you gonna say though,
Yeah.
Chris?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask you. Would you guys think it's fair to say that Gotham City is the most lore-rich city that's been crafted in terms of like a superhero city? Because I think so. I can't think of another city that's like more fleshed out via character. Like, how has a city had character development?
Yeah,
Well, Gotham City has that character development.
you're right.
That's,
I
you know what I'm
can't think of
saying?
anything else, right? Like
Mhm.
Metropolis is not even.
Not even.
Get that out of
Nah.
here. Get that out of here.
Oh,
Central City is
like,
interesting, but again, nothing like Gotham. No, there's
like
nothing.
they built
Um,
Gotham up from the ground, bro. Like that's kind of what the pull is for us because we've been here watching the bricks get laid piece by piece. Watching the city get built and down to the villains, down to the pedestrians, down to the damn police force, bro. Like Gotham feels alive, even though it's a very fictional city. It's Wakanda maybe might have that a little bit, but they've not gone nowhere near deep enough in what's going on there for us to say that. But
Yeah,
Batman,
I feel like Wakanda hasn't had the chance to um, show itself in like mainstream media as much. Like
yeah,
we've seen literally every freaking iteration of Gotham that we can think of, from movies to TV shows to video games to comic books to this, that, blah 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 blah. Like Gotham has had a lot of opportunities to flesh itself out with all the different pieces of medium that mainstream medium that's been out there. Whereas Wakanda, we had one movie,
one movie.
absolutely amazing movie. Obviously, we got the
Mhm.
comic books, but I don't consider those mainstream yet. So yeah, Wakanda's very fleshed out though. So whenever we get to that point, it's going to be amazing to see and talk about for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm.
right. All right. Well, we'll definitely this guy. Yo. Oh man, we not even.
Wakanda.
we're
did
not
it
even
that
going to
subtle
talk
too.
about
You
that
know,
one. Oh, well, I was gonna say after Vinny just threw me off completely. We'll definitely be looking forward to seeing everything that they're gonna be talking about at the fandom on October 16th. But we're jumping over to the next topic here, staying in the same movies and other entertainment realm, in addition to video games. Guys, my favorite my favorite series, Resident Evil. We're gonna talk about it. Anytime that I can get a chance to talk about Resident Evil, we're gonna talk about Resident Evil. So we know that they're coming out with a new movie. Welcome is it Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City or Return to Raccoon City? I think it's Welcome.
I think it's welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome to
welcome.
Raccoon City. Yeah. Okay. So we know that that movie's supposed to be coming out later this year. I think they said November 24th to be exact. And finally, today we finally got some screenshots, or actually no, yesterday. Sorry, yesterday we got some screenshots showing off some of the casting. So we've gotten Leon, we got Chris, we got Claire Redfield, we got Wesker. I forget the other character that they showed off. Oh man, he's not as big of a deal, but obviously, everyone that I mentioned before that, they're definitely a big deal. Damn, who was Manny? Do you remember the third, like in that picture that shows Wesker, Jill, and Chris? Do you remember who they
Chris
showed? There's another
and
person in there.
Brad.
Brad. Brad. Oh, that's why I
He
forgot
got the
about
dude
Brad.
that said he almost got turned into a Jill
Jill
sandwich.
sandwich.
I better get that in the movie.
Oh my
If I don't
god.
get that in the movie, I'm not watching the rest.
But Brad dies like quick. I mean, sorry, spoiler alert, guys, but
God,
You know,
oh,
it wasn't gonna matter for anybody, but I know Chris ain't played the original Resident Evil.
I ain't going back to play them shit, so we good.
you can watch the movie. He knows what happened. He's good.
I ain't play, hell no, that blocky ass shit. I ain't not going back and play that. Yo, wallet.
Oh man, but let's get into the pictures we saw, guys. Let's get into these castings here. So the first one that I'm very interested in, I should say, is Leon. Leon's gonna be played by Ivan. Man, you said the name before. I'm gonna butcher it. You said it before.
I just said Yvonne Julia. I'm probably butchering
I
it
think we're
too.
both butchering it.
It might be Hoagie. I don't know. It
Okay,
might be.
I'm gonna yeah. I don't.
Sorry, Yvonne.
Nah,
Yeah,
sorry,
let's just
bro.
say sorry. We gonna fuck your shit up. It's
Yeah,
all
sorry,
good. We
bro.
love you.
I mean, I'm gonna also say sorry because I'm not feeling the way you look in this at all. Like you're not looking like Leon at all.
Bro, when I saw his face, I was like, yo, that's the dude from Victorious. My man can sing.
It came at his neck. Yo, let yo Gia chill, bro. Damn.
Yo, like I liked him. I've seen him in a couple other shows, and I actually like him as an actor. But looking at him and like trying to say, okay, this is gonna be Leon Kennedy for the next like however long they decide to do these movies,
Mhm.
that was a bad first impression. But moving, I'll just say a couple of the other people here. So Claire's gonna be played. Oh, man, I'm gonna butcher all these names. I'm gonna just tell y'all right now. Claire's gonna be played by Kea. Woo,
Scoldelaria.
Scodelario. She was in the Maze Runner. She was in that movie Crawl. I've seen her in a couple
Mm.
different things. I actually like her casting. She looks like she's gonna do a great job. But we also got Chris Redfield being played by Robbie Amell. I think that's a great casting. We
Is
got
that Stephen Amell's brother?
it is. It's his cousin. It's his cousin.
Okay.
And then we got Albert Wesker being played by Tom Hopper. If any of you guys have seen Umbrella Academy, he's like the big like dude with the big arms and whatnot. I think that's actually a really good casting too. Although in the photos that they showed, you don't really see his face, but like if you look up his face, I think he's actually a really good casting for Wesker. And then Jill Valentine is going to be played by Hannah John Kamen. So at first, I didn't think that she looked right for the role, judging by the pictures that they showed. But then I looked up a separate image of her, and I feel like she's actually going to kill that because I know I've seen her in a couple other movies as well. But then we got Brad Vickers being played by Nathan Dales, and I think that's it. I think we also got an image of like some monster looking character that honestly I'm not too familiar with, but based on those images that we've seen, guys, what are you guys thinking? Manny, I'll start with you. I know you've played the game, so you know what all these characters should be looking like. What do you think so far?
Yeah, I mean, of course, when I looked at Leon, we all had the same reaction. We were just like, it doesn't look like him, but we can't knock him off because, like you said, you liked his acting in other shows, so I'm sure he's probably gonna kill it, or we're gonna hope he's gonna kill it because we don't want, this is Denzel's favorite franchise. We got to make sure this is a good movie.
Damn right.
But, I'm interested to see what the casting, how they're gonna translate to the movie. I feel like it's just one of the situations where it's like it's hard to screw it up because they're going based off a game. I feel like there's there's a possibility they could screw it up, obviously, but I feel like you got the outline already because they're going based off the first two games. The only thing is I remember talking about it before we started recording was it's based off the first two games, and I wonder how they're gonna translate Jill going to the Racoon City, because in the first game she's in the mansion with Chris and Wesker and Brad before she allegedly almost got turned into a Jill sandwich. But then also the second game and the third game are happening at the same time, so I wonder if they're gonna somehow implement that into the movie and the end trailer or whatever, or I just hope they find a way to make sure that they go off how the games were, not their own route and kind of mess it up, so to say.
I feel you. It's almost like they could be biting off more than they can chew if they're cramming both of those movies together. And and again, like you said, if they even try to cram in that third movie, that's even more going on because you have the Nemesis, who's a massive character, really beloved. Are you gonna throw the Nemesis in there too, showing Jill, running around doing whatever she's doing? A part of me feels like they're probably gonna take some creative freedom with this, and they won't they won't stick directly to the script, which I'm okay with. I I want to go to the movie to see someone else's interpretation of a game that I loved before. I don't necessarily want them to make the exact same thing, so
Mhm.
I'm okay with them changing a couple things up, as long as they do it right. Because I I don't think the story of Resident Evil is perfect. It definitely needs a lot of work. But I just happen to love the game because it was a big part of my childhood, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
But really, when you go back and you think about the story itself, especially after playing the remake of 2 and 3, story could use a little bit of cleanup. So this could be an opportunity to do that for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find a way. I hope, because my favorite was 3 personally. I hope you just make that into the next movie. Make it
Muy bueno.
muy bueno.
All right. Well, hey, Chris, I want to get your take on this here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it, but I'm gonna curb my excitement a little bit just because I don't know. I guess the last few movies put such a bad taste in my mouth, and I know they have nothing to do with this, but I'm still kind of walking into this with a little bit of a reservation, a little bit.
Mhm.
But I will say I like the fact that they chose a lot of people on their cast that aren't the best known actors. I always kind of like when I see films do that. Um, but I honestly got to say, I think in order for this franchise to succeed and actually get more sequels and maybe outdo the last franchise, not every movie requires for the people who are writing it to sit there and not only write the direct script, but technically come up with lore for what happened in the past. But Resident Evil, like, you need that. You need to have known what already happened and what's going to happen in the future in order to kind of make the one movie you're making now kind of good, if that makes any sense. Because one thing I've always noticed in the last movies is no matter what the plot was, no matter who was in it, no matter what the locale was, it always came back to some T-virus bullshit, and it's you can't keep doing that, dude, you gotta be able to weave the story together better than just I knew it was the T-virus, I was just being optimistic that it was something else, but God, I knew it was the T-virus.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the most true to the game thing that they have ever done in the movies. The T
Mhm.
virus is the MacGuffin of all MacGuffins. you want to piece together the most ridiculous story you could possibly think of. You want to justify, well, this is a little different, but you want to justify like I don't know, fucking chainsaw guy with a burlap sack over his head, T virus. You want to justify?
They gotta stop that, bro.
Yeah.
Stop that
Yeah.
shit.
My problem with those
Funny, man.
movies, you know, again, like I do love them, but my biggest problem with those movies was they always had an out because Alice was a fucking superhuman.
That
Like
too. Yeah.
they always had an out. She would always figure something out. She could get into a massive plane crash that literally nobody should survive, but because she's, you know, god tier, because she has the T virus, she's gonna survive, and she'll like crack her own limbs back into place and get up and go fight, you know, a bunch of zombies and do this and do that. Like that was always my problem. And obviously, like, you know, you have to suspend your disbelief at some level. Like this is a franchise about zombies and a virus that turns people into zombies and yada yada yada. So like obviously it's not gonna be that realistic, but the games are a lot more grounded in reality than those movies were.
Mhm.
You know, like there's a real sense of danger for like Leon and Claire and like all these people that we're seeing so far. And you know, Wesker goes off and you know, we know, well, some of us know what happens with Wesker, but for
Mhm.
everybody else, the stakes are pretty high, right? Like anything could happen and they're gonna die. Like chances are they're going to die. So I don't know. It's I don't foresee that being an issue with this movie. So in that way, I think they're okay. But to your Chris, back to your point, like the T virus thing, there's no way that they're gonna write that out because it's just so
I
core.
don't even want them to write it out.
Yeah.
You don't gotta. It can stay in the movie. Just write it in a way where it weaves together better. It can't just always seem like you're a trump card wherever you got backed into a corner writing wise, and then you're like, well, you know what? T virus. No, you can't do that. That's not it. If you're gonna make the T virus be a big thing, then truly sit down and think about the origin of the T virus, how the T virus evolves, how it truly affects. Like you got to go into all of that, man, in order for this to work. And you don't have to go into all of it in one movie, but you do eventually have to touch on it all in order for us to wrap our brains around this T virus shit. It's real, you know. You can't do it like how y'all try to do it. I hope that it has a progression locale wise, like how Planet of the Apes did. Now, hear me out for a second, right? Planet of the Apes, the first movie started off regular civilization, everything was fine. Second movie, you kind of see where the apes are starting to, I don't know, evolve or change or adapt. Adapt is a better word. Adapt to what was going on. Some of the environment started to, you know, get shambly and da 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 da. And then by the last movie, it was like the cities that we knew and all that stuff were like complete lush jungles and you got broken down cars and like they made Earth their home by the third movie. You know what I'm saying? So I just want them to like, if they're gonna do multiple, progress it nicely because you're starting from the beginning where this is the first movie. Make it change nicely and like don't make it be again for the last franchises. They had the first two movies and then I don't know if it was the third one or the fourth one, but then somehow they ended up in a fucking desert. And I'm like, no, like don't do that. Like, come on, make this shit make sense throughout the whole thing. So I want this to be good. I'm optimistic, but I can't go in there all dumb excited because yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
That last point you made, I hope doesn't become a problem because again, I'm hoping they're sticking more to the game than, you know, going as far out there as they went with the original movies because the original movies got to a place where like, you know, eventually the T virus took over the whole world, right? And that never happened in the games yet. And I think that's why they went that route because they could just do whatever the hell they wanted and not be beholden to the games. It was like, okay, fast forwarding to this time where the T virus takes over everything and it's the end of the world. And in the games, it's not like that. It's like these situations happen in isolated incidents. You know, Racoon City gets contained pretty nefariously, you know, at the end of the second/third game, and things don't necessarily get too out of hand, but then you see different pockets of the situation creeping back up here and there. And they did actually do a good job, even though the T virus was still the thread between everything. They made it smart about the way they incorporated the T virus into different situations. Like Village in particular, like there was like I mean, I guess we're far enough. No, I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that
Yeah,
at some
no,
point.
I'm not
I
gonna
know,
spoil
yeah.
it. But they do a good job of writing in the hooks of what you knew happening in like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not the same as the movies where the movies just didn't care. It was just like T-Virus, that's it. That's it. That's the answer. Well, why does this guy have a pyramid head and a sword? T-Virus, that's it.
I should have known.
Yeah.
I don't even know I asked.
All I gotta say is, if they ever make it to the 5th game, Chris better be punching rocks.
Why I gotta put that?
No, the character.
It's a reference.
Oh, I say I don't want.
It's a reference like the end of the 5th game, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, my guy was
Actually,
my guy did steroids.
funny enough, they made a reference on Village with that. That was funny when he mentioned it.
Oh, Chris Redfield in particular. I feel like there's a lot that they need to go back and fix with him. Like he's still like a fan favorite character, but some of that like he's a little too strong for realism thing. Like they need to lay off of that. I mean, it seems like they've done so in 8 and I guess 7. I don't remember who was 7. But
yeah, it was more realistic on 7 and 8, but 5 was just a different breed.
Yeah, no, 5. They knew they were getting out of hand. 5 and 6, they knew they were like, all right, we got to reel this shit back in. Reboot. They and I mean, obviously it was successful because 7 and 8 are like some of the best selling games in the franchise for sure. So good to see. Good to see. Resident Evil. But yeah, we'll look. I'm really waiting to see a trailer, man. I mean, Chris, I know you mentioned it before too. Like, before.
Fucking weird, man.
But yeah, it's weird. Like the movie's coming out November 24th. We don't have a trailer yet. Like, I feel like it's time.
We'll get something. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I mean, the fact that they released these pictures today, like, could mean one of two things. Like, we're not gonna get that trailer for another month, a couple weeks, or maybe we'll get the trailer by the end of this week. Who knows? But I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later because I definitely want to get a better understanding of what this world is going to be about. And then you also have the Netflix like TV show version of this that's happening where you got was it Lance Reddick? Is it Lewis or Lance? I always get them mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's Lance Reddick, who's going to be playing Wesker, and the dude who plays Zavala, Chris. You remember his name?
Oh yeah, Lance Reddick. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited to see his take on Wesker. And I don't know where they're going with that storyline, but obviously it's not going to tie into this movie at all. But more Resident Evil for me, the better. So, Capcom, let's go, chop. Hit your boy.
Yeah, chop.
All right. Well, we'll leave Resident Evil alone for now. Jumping from my favorite franchise to one of Manny's favorite franchises. Let's talk a little bit more about Saints Row. Manny, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Yeah, I mean, they finally gave us, well, not finally because it was like a day after, but they gave us a little welcome to Saint Eliso. It was my bad if I butcher it. My English isn't the greatest, but
Santo Elicio.
Santo Elicio. So welcome to Santo Elicio, where they show you how the Saints work. I liked it. It was pretty simple. They kind of introduced not only the characters that you're going to be working with, but as well as the gangs you're going to be fighting against and what you can do in the city. And let me tell you, I think the city looks massive. If like to go the way it looks in the trailer and like the beginning, how to show like the canyons and everything like that, it looks massive. And I can't wait to see how like it translates into the actual game, or if that's just like, oh, okay, like this is just outside the map, you can't go there type of stuff. So I can't wait to see that aspect. Map looks amazing. The gameplay looks fun. Classic Saints Row fashion, where it's like top of the line, just action. I know a lot of people has been saying they're not a big fan of the Saints Row just because like the characters doesn't look gangsterish and everything like that. And one thing I just don't understand. Well, I mean, I do understand because like you grew up playing Saints Row 1 and 2, and Saints Row for being a hardcore gangster game, but then when it gets to 3 and 4, it's just like, okay, what kind of parody is this? But I feel like as time goes on, I understand you want to go back to the gangster roots, but I feel like what Saints Row is doing is like they're going with the time, you know what I mean? They're not going back, but they're going forward because, I mean, yeah, like you're gonna have your classic gangbang and action, but I mean, this is a brand new Saints Row world where you got these four kids that want to like teenagers that want to like basically rule Saint Alicio their way, and that's kind of how like they marketed the game is like, you know, have your own fun kind of way where you rule the world however you want. And you could buy your own properties and everything like that. The You could also like design things the way you want to, and that's what I like about how the Saints Row is going because, like, yeah, it's not the classic gangbang where you fight all these hardcore gangs, but like it's about, you know, starting from the bottom and making your way up top, which, you know, what I feel like it's a, you know, classic Saints Row faction. You know, you all started somewhere. So even though, like I said, a lot of people hasn't been, you know, liking the game too much, I feel like this game is going to strive in the fact that they're going ahead into what the game should be like modernized, so to say, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you got to bring the game to 2021 or 2022 by the time it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to it has to be grounded in like the world that we live in today, right? Like, and I actually feel like the hardcore like gang type of thing actually is going to play a role in this because it does seem like some of those gangs that you're fighting against, I think at least like one or two of them, they discussed them a little bit in the trailer. Like there was one that's a little bit more like muscle, you know, muscle bound, and like they're a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more aggressive, and there's a couple that are a little bit more cerebral. But I do think that they're showing like a level of diversity that some of the, I think at least that muscle gang is a little bit more traditional, like hardcore gangster
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. And I think the game isn't just about like gang banging like on the streets and all that stuff. Like it's also about like outsmarting the other people, and you know, I think all of those things are going to play a role in the world that they seem to be creating. And many, you know, to your point, like
Mm-hmm.
obviously everything about the game seems to really cater to the idea of like making things happen your way, right? Like the tagline, I think they said is self-made. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you as the character, I think you get to be the boss. Is the name of the character. You get to customize him or her however you want him to be. You know, you get to buy properties and, you know, basically just develop your criminal organization the way that you want it to be. And I think it's really cool. Like I like the way that they showed off a lot of the little concepts for the game, because this trailer is really more about the developers talking about their vision for what this is going to be and what that world Santo Alicio will be. So I'm very excited for it. I like the fact that it seems like they're kind of bridging the gap between like some of the ridiculousness of the newer games with like some of the more seriousness around like building your squad and all that type of stuff from the OG games. Like I feel like you can't be too ridiculous with this. You can't be too out there. You know, we made the
Mm-hmm.
jokes I think last week about like the superpowers and the alien invasion and all that stuff. Like leave that stuff alone. But you want to give me a VTOL that I could like go fly around in and blow some shit up? I'm here for that. Give me that. Cuz that's like San Andreas level ridiculousness that everybody loves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know you gotta, for me, you gotta balance it, right? It can be over the top, but it still needs to be grounded in reality at some level. And if you can make it closer to San Andreas, then like Saints Row the Third,
Mm-hmm.
all good by me, all good by me. But yeah, Chris, what do you think about you know, what you've seen so far in this trailer?
Um, like, it looks cool and all, but I can't say that I got wowed. You know, I can't say that anything I saw was like, oh man, this. Or how do I put this? I'm not any more enticed to get the game now than I was before I watched it. Like, I still want to play it, yeah, but am I like, yeah, really? Nah, I didn't really get that like vibe from it. I feel like with this game, dude, because they have, I don't want to say they have a head start, but because we're expecting Grand Theft Auto to take another few years for it to come out, like, and it's a reboot of your franchise, like, y'all need to be going hard in terms of advertising, in terms of how your trailers are set up, all that stuff to make sure that you guys can really steal some of their audience if you can help it. So, and that's just how my mind works with it. Um,
You don't think they had a
yeah,
good start there? You don't think the Game
a
Awards
little
thing was
bit.
good, or not Game Awards,
It,
Gamescom?
it was cool, but it still wasn't like. I feel like it was a big deal more for the fact that people were like, "Oh my god, it's back and it's getting rebooted," not so much the meat of what we saw. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I don't think it was bad. but I'm
But you
not
want to see
blown
more.
away. Yeah, I'm not really blown away by anything. Like when I look at these kind of like big sandbox games like this that are in the same ilk as the Grand Theft Auto, like Cyberpunk blew me away. When I first saw that trailer, I said, "Holy shit!" That's why we were so pumped about the game before it came out, because, bro, there's only 2 trailers in the last 10 years that made me go, "Holy shit!" Cyberpunk and Anthem. Anthem fucking had me ready to just give him all my money, bro. When I first saw that Iron Man suit, I said, "Yes, please."
I feel
Yeah,
like
this
there's a
ain't.
trend there.
I was gonna say, too bad those two
Both of
games
those games
didn't have the
flopped.
best.
Yeah, I know. They might have done it a little too much with the marketing. They might have went a little too hard.
Yeah,
But the point I'm trying to make here is I know that they're coming out with the reboot, and I want to see if they can really truly compete with Grand Theft Auto. That's my main thing. Like, can you compete? Are you really going to be here to really take some capital away? Are you going to really compete? I want to see it. I want to see what they got. But like, I don't know. I guess they got to show me a bit more for me to wrap my head around it. What would have been cool is if they would have even touched on maybe some of the online stuff. Like Manny's been talking about it for a while. If they come out with the online version that's similar to what Grand Theft Auto has, that might be a game changer. Show me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like let me see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a hard release date for the game. I don't remember if they announced that.
25th.
Okay.
it's February.
Oh yeah, February, right. So I mean that's not even too long away. Maybe they got more aces in the deck. I don't know, but like
I think
I just need a little more.
I do think
I need a little more.
it would be premature to show, like, if they do have like a competitor to GTA Online kind of thing. I do think it'd be a little premature to show that, but yeah, I'm sure we might, if that exists, we would see it at like the Game Awards in December,
Yeah.
if that exists. But they did say there's going to be drop in drop out co-op, so I mean that's good.
They can just jump into your game and then leave when they want to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's that that was something that was in the OG Saints Rows. I don't remember if that was in like the third or fourth one, but
Yeah.
always good to see that because it's always fun to play with your friends. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to learn more. It's we got a little bit more after the initial reveal. They're showing a little bit more gameplay, and I do have to agree with you from a gameplay standpoint. I didn't see anything in particular that blew me away, but the things that I hear them talking about, as far as like what that world is going to look like and how alive it should be, and how you can form things to work out the way you want them to, I guess, like building your own businesses and taking over this segment of the territory and that segment. Like, I'm interested in seeing how it all plays out. But I'm excited because I'm a Saints Row fan, but I also do agree with you a lot, Chris. Like, they do need to show a little bit more. And I don't necessarily know if their mindset is, GTA is not here. It's not going to be here for a while, so let's capitalize. Because I don't know if this is being billed as like a triple A game in that sense. I guess I just don't have a feel for that yet. And I guess maybe that's a problem, but
yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
like
For sure.
Like I understand where they're going because I understand what Saints Row is. It's more fun and free and yada yada yada. But I do think that I'm not entirely sure of how high quality this is going to be versus how not. So, and I don't. I definitely don't know how much they're utilizing next gen tech because apparently it's going to be on last gen hardware too. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But moving on to another game that's making a comeback, we got a nice little developer stream. It's Dead Space, guys. Dead Space. Now that's a little different. That game's gonna be all next gen. It's gonna be fucking fantastic. But yeah,
announced that.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
That's exactly what we need. Exactly what we want. But yeah, Dead Space. They showed off some some like pre-alpha footage, and they talked a lot about their intentions for the game. So it's some of the stuff that we've kind of already talked about as well, but they kind of dabbled in the idea that they want to continue the theme that they had in the original game, where there's no loading times or anything, right? So they specifically called out the new hardware, the new SSDs, as something that will allow them to achieve that again. They also talked about some of the lighting that will help them to achieve a more immersive experience. They also talked about the new audio tech that'll help them to achieve a more immersive experience. And kind of one of the things that Dead Space is definitely notorious for is the idea of the dismemberment system. So being able to chop off the necromorph's hands, or sorry, arms and legs and whatnot, and that's really the core gameplay loop of the game. Like yeah, for those of you who've never played Dead Space, if you shoot a necromorph in the head, it grows another limb. It gets more aggressive. It gets stronger. So it's not something you want to do. You want to cut off the legs. You want to cut off the arms. That's really what kills it. So they showed off some really interesting stuff around what they call the peeling system. So I'm actually just going to read right off an article that is on Windows Central here, and I definitely want to credit the person who wrote it here. So Sam Talbert. So he talks about this peeling system here. He said the team also talked about improving combat in Dead Space. While dismemberment is a huge feature, there's also a new peeling system that shows damage chipping away at limbs or portions of necromorphs' bodies without the limbs fully being severed, with the effect varying from weapon to weapon. The limb's bone might even snap while the rest of the limb hangs from the torsos and whatnot. So, like, it's definitely like a really visceral experience, and I'm here for that. I'm here for that. We was talking, we talked about a couple episodes ago, like, Unreal Engine 5 and how, that could look for horror games. EA's
Yeah.
obviously going a different route. They're not using Unreal Engine 5. They're using the Frostbite engine, which is an amazing engine. But they're clearly like iterating on it to be able to do some really interesting things. And like the idea of like flesh and bone kind of like hanging off of monsters, like as you're, trying to figure out, okay, where am I gonna shoot this thing? How am I gonna strategically like get this thing killed? That shit's fucking cool, man. That shit is
Yeah.
really, really cool. So, Chris, I'm gonna start with you on this one, man. What do you think about what you saw from the showcase? It's a little bite-sized thing, but what do you think?
Yeah, no, yeah. See, Dead Space. Granted, it wasn't a trailer, and I guess maybe it's not fair to say this because they really expanded on a lot of what they wanted to talk about, but they got me excited, because the way they're talking, the language they're using, I like that talk. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about the whole limb system, I think I might have said this a couple different times in past episodes, but there's not a lot of games out yet, even though these consoles are going to be going on a year in a couple months. There's not a couple games out, not enough games out at least, that fully make you feel like you're in a next gen experience. You know what I'm saying? At least not yet. So when I hear talk like this, I'm like, yeah, talk like that. Because it's just another level of realism to the game, especially in something like a horror shooter. Because, my dude, that's a physics that I didn't think that it was possible in a video game. I didn't think it was possible for them to really get it good where like skin could peel or a bone could break the skin or whatever, but it doesn't affect the rest of the model. Like that's some crazy stuff, man. And it makes me excited not only for the game, but then other games in the future. Because I feel like what's happening right now is a lot of people are just experimenting with the new technology. And we haven't gotten to a point yet where people said, all right, we've poked around in it enough to know that you can do all this shit. Now make a video game. I don't think we're there yet. I think people are still very much just like, yeah, this is some cool shit, but we're still figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? But another thing that also kind of caught me too is that when you listen to them talk, not only are they explaining this stuff, but they have a genuine excite, about what they've been coming up with.
Yep.
And whenever I see developers talk like that, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a big difference between the developer that's talking like these Dead Space guys, and then the developer that they push the guy out there, all right, these are your lines, go out there and say this shit, to do it. And then they're just kind of, they're happy to be there, but they don't got the same level of, you know what I mean? Them two dudes today in the thing, they came off like people who play video games that are excited about video games, and I was like, oh my God, this shit it's turning out how we wanted it to turn out.
Yeah.
That's how it sounded to me. And that's what I would like to call confidence that's almost silent, because they didn't really come out of nowhere and say, our game's shit, our game's this, or it's gonna, no. They're just, you could tell that they're happy with the progress that they're making.
Yeah.
And they feel good about it. And I'm like, yeah, see that you don't always have to say that my game is this, that, and the third. It's literally those little things like that that let me know where you're at in your development process. And I'm just like, keep being excited, boys, because
Mhm.
if your game was shit, you wouldn't be excited. You know what I'm saying? So
That's true.
yeah, I'm very, very much here for it. The zero gravity thing that they were talking about too sounded really, really cool. Again, these are mechanics that not only they can use in their game, but I want to see this stuff in other video games too. Being able to like go through space and really feel like you're in space. Yeah, give me that. And if Dead Space is going to be the first game to knock the wall down in terms of how to do that in a next gen way, then yeah, let's do that and let's get this shit in other games and bing bang boom and let's do the damn thing. But it's exciting for them. It's very, very exciting. The graphics look way better than it used to. Everything seems like it's coming together really nicely in the oven for this game. So
You talking
uh,
about the graphics, bro?
yeah,
Bro,
Definitely.
yeah.
they showed that like little image of the old game, and then they showed like
Mhm.
the early build like of a hallway, and oh my god, the
Yeah,
lighting.
when he was walking through it, bro, it looked so smooth and so good, bro. Dude, I saw that and I got chills, and I was like, yo, I'm just watching a video of like them talking about the game. I can't imagine how it's gonna be just like chilling in the room by yourself, dark with the headset on, full blasted, just walking around.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, a necromorph, and
Bro, the
but
lighting though, the lighting in particular is the one thing that I just want to stress real quick. The lighting specifically on Isaac's like suit. Oh
mhm.
my god. And like seeing it like change as you're walking through the world. So the one thing that I'm curious if they'll do, because it seems like they're being really coy. Like that's actually another thing that I liked about this was they weren't talking a lot. Like the stuff that they showed was really powerful, right? But they weren't really saying too much, right? Like they were very like strategic about, okay, like we're doing this, but we got a lot of other things to show you guys. Like got a lot of this, we got like they're being really coy about certain things. But the thing I'm thinking about the lighting, being able to see reflections off of Isaac's like suit there, moments that you can scare the player where like they don't have to worry about what's in front of them. They see like reflections
Mm.
of the necromorph like jumping behind them and doing this and doing that, like, and knowing that that's happening and including the audio stuff too, and like so basically you do like a quick turnaround and like boom, you got the necromorph like right over you and you're like, oh shit, like those are moments that Dead Space can offer. And man, I with all of the other things that we just talked about, in addition to just the idea of making yourself more and more immersed in this world and having these graphics look the way that they do and having the flesh hanging off of the necromorphs and all that stuff, man, like
Mhm.
I don't know if we're ready for this.
I ain't. I gotta
I'm
buy
sh-
new underwear before I play this shit, man. I ain't ready for this at all. Nope.
all I gotta
Uh,
say is I'm streaming. That's the only way I got through Resident Evil. That's the only way I'm gonna do this.
oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be a stream. It's definitely gonna be a stream.
Hmm.
But yeah, but Manny,
Hmm.
what do you think about this stuff? What has you the most excited about it?
Yeah, I mean, like we were mentioning with the whole like graphics and atmosphere, how like they're showing from the old to the new. Like the atmosphere looks incredible compared to obviously what was first came out back in like 2000, I think like six or something like that. So like I just can't imagine how like just like the whole environment of the whole map is gonna be. Like one thing about Dead Space is it's like dark, not that much lighting and everything like that, and you're just like going through, and then you got these like necromorphs like scattering around. You can hear all these noises and everything like that. I just can't imagine how it's gonna be when it's like just this next gen um next gen hardware that we got. That's like one thing that got me very excited. I mean, just like I mentioned earlier, them just walking around in the little hallway and like just the suspense is there, and you just like Chris says, get ready to get a new pair of undies because you're gonna be shitting yourself. You're gonna be like new shit, different game.
Yeah, what did Negan used to say on Walking Dead? Oh, I hope you got your shit
Shit pants
pants.
on.
Yeah,
Oh
yo.
my goodness. Yeah, man. This game looks incredible. And this is, pre-production development build. So it's not even like the not alpha yet or anything like that. So I'm just excited to see what the final product will be in the next, months, years, or whatever they have.
For
Hmm.
sure, for sure. I mean, I'm hoping they do a little bit more of this type of stuff, right? Like, I'm hoping they keep us more in the loop with the game. I I feel like the reason they did this in particular because I don't know if you guys caught this in the developer live stream, but the interviewer had mentioned, like some people say that you know why are we remaking the game? Because the game stands the test of time and yada yada yada. And the developers like had very specific reasons. Basically, all the reasons that we had just talked about, right? The new hardware, being able to make a more immersive world, all that stuff. That was their reasoning behind. Like, oh, that's what they said they could bring to the game. But you could tell that like that question was very specifically why they wanted to do this developer live stream, because that's the one thing that I heard the most is like, well, why does Dead Space need to be remade? It's, you know, it's already a great game. It's not that old. Da, 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 da. I don't even know why you would say that, because there's games that are not as old as Dead Space that have been remade so far or been reworked and so on and so forth. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely it. I feel like it was definitely time for them to bring back that franchise. So nothing wrong there, but yeah, you can definitely tell this particular stream was them trying to justify exactly why this is happening. And I hope that they, you know, that chip on their shoulder that they may seem to have by hearing certain comments on the internet will drive them to A, make a better game, and B, be as transparent as they possibly can be with the development cycle of this. You know, giving us, you know, more sneak peeks at, okay, well, this is what we're gonna like. Hopefully next they're gonna show like the stasis stuff, like all the different abilities that you have in the game. Um, you know, hopefully we start to see a little bit more of that stuff trickling in, you know, here and there. And man, I can't talk enough about it, but the graphics, man, the graphics are just
Mm-hmm.
crazy, man. The lighting, all that stuff, like Manny said, it's a dark game, but the thing about it is when you're in a like a desolate spaceship, there are pockets of light, and that pocket of light is really what draws like beauty to the game. And you know, the I don't know if they're doing the ray tracing stuff. I think they said that that's something that they're dabbling in, but having ray trace lighting and reflections and all that stuff with pockets of light in a really dark desolate spaceship, like that's like an opportunity to really showcase that engine. And whew,
Mm-hmm.
can't wait,
Uh,
can't wait.
Can't wait. Get my boy Isaac back.
So many different
yeah,
things to look forward to, man. You know, obviously Saints Row, Dead Space, Resident Evil, you know, all that stuff, man. It's as always, it's a good time to be a gamer.
goddamn right.
A lot of good shit going
Mm-hmm.
on. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We're gonna start it off, Manny. You know, what we always do, where can the people find you?
You already know. Twitch.tv/GoodMasterFlex, as well as Instagram and Twitter at GoodMasterFlex_TTV, and a TikTok at GoodMasterFlex.
Word. Mr. May 25th. What about you, my boy? Where can they find you?
You know, man, MAY25THXX on everything, including Gmail and TikTok and all that good mess. Yeah, don't ask me about no pen pal, man. Just keep pushing.
Just keep it pushing. All right,
And
guys.
Gmail.
For me, it's Black Ice 8 everywhere on Xbox, twitch.tv/Black Ice 8. You can find me on PlayStation. You can find me on Twitter, Twitter dot twitter.com/Black Ice 8. I can't talk, guys. Can't talk. But Instagram and TikTok is going to be Black Ice 8_gaming. So make sure to check me out. Also, make sure to check out the podcast on TikTok, Expansion Pack Podcast. It's simple. Just search us up. Expansion with an X, by the way. Expansion Pack Podcast. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Like we said, make sure to like and subscribe as well if this is you know, one of your first times listening to us or seeing us. Thank you guys. We'll check you guys out next week. Peace.